Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how to make this pretty hibiscus flower for your moms or whoever. And you're gonna need 5 different colors. So I'm gonna call this base part the dark center. That's gonna be the base of the flower. This, the yellow, is gonna be the petal color, the inner petal. This red on the outside, these are going to be your outlines. The center of the pistil is, I'm going to use, let's see, yellow in this example, but in this case they're orange. And then the top of the pistil is like this cleared orange color that I have too. So, you're gonna need 10 of these dark center beads, 65 of these outline beads, 45 of these interior beads, 6 for this pistil part, and 5 for the top of the pistil. All right, let's go. Cool. So for this one, I'm gonna use white for the interior of the petals, this dark red pearl that's really pretty for the outline of the petals, yellow for the long part of the pistil, and orange for the top of the pistil, and these pretty dark purple beads for the base, the dark center. Cool, so you're gonna need quite a bit of string. And I'm gonna start with 5 of my dark center. 5 like this. Tie it off. Now you're not gonna wanna tie it too tight or you're gonna have a really hard time with the next step. So I'm just gonna tie it so it's kind of taut. And then I'll make sure it's well knotted. And yeah, you should be able to hold the beads together so they look like this. Kind of like a Patrick star shape. And if they're not doing that naturally, kind of like squish them around until they do. Like that. And you're gonna get used to, pardon my dog, you're gonna get used to re-squishing those several times. Cool, we're gonna snip off the short end. And let's get some string. So I'm gonna use about 4 to 5 feet of string. I might have too much, but in my opinion, that's always better than not having enough. Add your needle, you're gonna need a needle. I suppose you could do this without a needle, but it would be no fun. Very hard. When I tie my needle on, I always tie the string around the needle. I don't tie the string to the needle. Kind of like that, because I feel like it makes the beads go on easier. And yeah, so you have to kind of negotiate with this thing to get it back into Patrick star shape. That's why you don't want it too tight, because it's really hard if you do. So anyway, out through the next one. As with most sculpting shapes, you want to start with your knot over here and your string coming out this side. Add 1 more dark center bead. Add another dark center bead. You're gonna add 5 of these until they are in between all of Patrick Star's limbs. Like this. And you might, like I said, have to keep kind of fidgeting with it and pull tight. And see how he's like missing his head. And through the next 2. Yeah, this is kind of awkward, but and pull. and bam, you should have something that looks kind of like this. Now if it's twisting or something like that, that's okay. Just mess with it until your fingers flatten it and it looks like that. Cool, we are done with our dark center beads. I'll put those to the side. And we're gonna get started on the inside of our flower. So like I said, I'm using red for the outline, and this is an unopened bag inside of an opened bag. I'm using red for the outline and white for the inside of the petal. So in this one, this purple part will be red, this white will be white. You're gonna do one outline bead, one inside bead, and connect right here. And it's important that you don't do this in the opposite order or your spiral's gonna look weird. So one outside, one inside, through the next one. One outside, one inside, through the next one. One outside, one inside, through the next one. Pull nice and tight. Whoop. One outside, one inside, through the next three. So it should look like this. And pull tight. So your flower should look something like this right now, this pattern. We should have the 10 dark center beads, and then it should be coming out of an interior petal color, and the outline of the petal should be, yeah, first in all of those pairs of beads. Cool. Next one we're gonna do is we're gonna see these 5 empty spaces. We're gonna put single white beads in there. So interior petal color beads in all those empty spaces. Interior petal beads in all those empty spaces. Interior petal beads on all those empty spaces until you have 5. Make sure you're pulling nice and tight. And you're gonna go through this red bead, through these 2 white beads, and pull. And you can see it's kind of starting to cup up. Awesome. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do 3 beads between each of these like sticky uppy interior petal beads. So we're gonna do it in the order of 1 of your outline beads and 2 of your interior petal beads. So it should be going like this, with the base of the string by the outline bead and the 2 petal beads going inside. I'm gonna do that all the way around. You're gonna wanna make sure you're pulling pretty tight in this step. So sorry if my hand is in the way. 1 outline bead, 2 interior petal beads, one outline bead, 2 interior petal beads, one outline bead, 2 interior petal beads, and we're gonna come out through the middle. So these 4. So I'm gonna go in through that white bead this red, this white bead, this red bead, this white bead, and there should be one extra hanging out over here. That's not right. It's not right at all. I screwed that up. Okay. So you're gonna have one outline bead, two interior beads up through these four. So this white one you're gonna go through, this red one, and these two white ones. And it should look like this. And you should be able to pull these tips out. And you should look something like this right now. Cool. So you're going to take one outline bead and put it in all of the blank spaces between the threes. Outline bead, put it between the spaces so that your outline bead is kind of next to the other two that are like on top of each other. It should be turning out like this. Cool. And through that first single outline bead you put on in that row, and it should look like this. You should have the kind of outline beads. There should be two next to each other with two inner beads next to each other too. Cool. Next we're gonna connect these 5 in between with rows of 5. And you might want to pull up on your kind of rows of 3 below there so they stick out. It will make your flower look fuller. It will make your line tighter. So it should look something like this. Okay, next we're doing rows of 5. We're gonna do 2 interior, 3 outline beads. Should look like this on your needle. Okay, got it? And you're gonna go through the sticky uppy bead. 2 white beads, 1, 2, 3 red, and through the next. And at this point I'm going to pull, and I'm going to pull these out and make sure they're sticking out. And we're going to keep them that way. So I'm going to go, so yeah, a big whole lesson with this entire stitch is to make sure your center beads of all your points are pointy. I can't pick up a bead. Yeah, so it should look like this. Pull, make pointy, pull, make pointy behind it. 1, 2, 3. Should look like that. Through the next, oh, I lost it. That's okay. Through the next red sticky uppy bead. There we go. And tight. Interior, interior. And the next 1, 2, 3. Should look like this. And we're gonna go, okay, this is a fun one. We're gonna go through this red bead all the way. It might help for you to do it in chunks until you get to the next blank spot in between. So it's that same kind of pattern that we've been doing. So you're gonna go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beads until you hit the blank spot. Got it? And in here, we're gonna put an interior petal color into all 5 spaces. Sorry if I'm like blocking it with my hand. You're gonna go through all rows of 5, and what this does, not only does this add the white bead in between them, it will also kind of stiffen the pointy parts. This got jacked. There we go. Which are good, which you want for this flower. I made a version of this where it was very floppy and it made me very sad. Until you're coming out of this interior color bead. So it should look something like this. Once again, we are going to pull until the pointy parts are out. You're going to really want to do this here because it's going to make the next step way less confusing. Cool, it should look something like this, and you can start to see your spiral is coming together, right? All right, you can see I wrote myself directions. Not that I don't already know how to do this, just that I will space on camera. Next we're gonna do rows of 3, little 3s going around here, but the pattern is gonna be interchangeable on every other. So, what we're gonna do is you're gonna do, let me think. It goes petal, outline, outline, and then outline, outline, petal. That's right. And you're gonna go through each of these 10 that are sticking out. It goes outline, outline, petal, outline, outline, and then, yep, there we go. Outline, outline, petal. So you're gonna have 3 rows, petal, outline, outline. You're gonna have 3 beads times 10 in this row. And you can kind of see your spiral is getting spiralier. Petal, petal, outline, sorry, outline, outline, petal. Do this again, huh? Petal, outline, outline. So it should be looking something like this. Outline, outline, petal, into the white, petal, outline, outline into the red. Cool, and it should look when you get your last one, you're going to go up through 3, so you're coming out of this outline bead. Sorry, that was kind of awkward. I can redo that if you guys want. And we're just going to make sure all these are tight and sticking up. They are not tight. Let's see if I can tighten them. There we go. Once they're tight, they should be willing to stick up. Cool, it should look something like this at this point. Now we're gonna do a row of 3. 1, 2, 3 outline beads. I screwed this up. Let's head through here. You're gonna want to come out of there. There you go. Oh, I did this completely backwards. No, we're fine. Okay. So you want to come out of the red bead like this, and that's where I did it backwards, but it's fine. And you're going to go through 5. So once again, you're going to add 3 outline beads. I know I took a detour there. And you're going to go through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I'm going through, plus the 3 I'm adding. That goes away. So going through 5. One, 2, 3. Go through 5. Get these off my needle. 1, 2, 3, go through 5. 1, 2, 3. Go through 5. See, I almost set a string. But that's okay because I am pretty much done with this step. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tie her down here. See down here? I'm gonna go in here with my next. I don't even have to go through the next 5. Should look like this. Hooray! We got a spiral. Turned out okay. And we're just gonna tie her off. I'm just gonna tie her off probably twice. You could tie her off 3 times or 4 times if you want. Doesn't really matter. You're not gonna be stretching this really at all. It's not like it's a cuff or something you're gonna wear, so I'm not really worried about it. I invented this stitch this morning, so pardon me if I'm not like together. Cool, so you're gonna cut that off. We're done with our interior and exterior beads. And we're on to our pistil and stamen. So, I'm going to start with the orange part. So this clear orange here, the tip of the center of the flower. I'm gonna cut this off. I'm just gonna use the remaining string from my, oh, I did that wrong. I cut off the wrong side. I was too excited. It's okay, I don't really need the needle yet. I'm just gonna use the remaining string from my flower part. We're gonna put 1, 2, 5 on here. 3, 4, 5. If I drop it, that's okay. 5. I'm gonna punch them together. Add 6 of your long part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 with your strings pinched together. Cool, nice and tight. And you're gonna take these 2 strings and you're gonna pop them through this hole. And then you're just gonna take one random color. This is the back. Sometimes I use green for good measure. You're gonna do this with it. So just like a regular, like a pony bead stitch where you go through. I hope you guys can see. Through the bead to tie it together. I don't worry about making the back so pretty. Just a random bead will work. I guess you need +1 bead, but top of the numbers I sent you earlier. And just make sure this is crazy tight because that will keep this part standing up. And yeah, then I just tie it. You can put a stem back there too. I can show you guys how to do that later if you want, but I don't know. I don't think it's that cute, so I'm still working on it. And voila, flower. It's very pretty. I like it a lot. Thanks.